generate AgentsMD. So this markdown file is like the sauce. I did a bunch of research on how the AgentsMD files should be structured. And one of the key things are these core principles here. So it's called a just-in-time indexing. So you don't want to stuff the context window for these AgentsMD files to have lots of things in them. If you had an encyclopedia, you can't put that whole thing in your head. But if you want to look up something like a certain plant or a certain animal, you can know where to look up by going to the index first and then looking through the index and maybe scrolling through certain pages. Hey, guess what? The agents behave the same way. And so this is part of those principles that I researched and then I had included into these types of this specific prompt. This is better than the generate cursor rules that Cursor used to have that they took out because it was ineffective. This will actually generate the agents file. And you're like, if you want to generate one for Claude, Claude has a different structure and a different way that it does rules than the agents files. And so they are really strict about instruction hierarchy. And then they also have these different principles for modular sections and stuff, and then front loading context. So here's their structure. And then this is exactly what tells the agent what it needs to do for Claude specific rules and how to place them in different directory structures, depending on what you're doing for your app. And so this will work for anything. So if you're using Claude Code, you can just pull up this rules file and say, I want you to go through my code base and generate the Claude MD files following these guidelines. And it's just going to spend a bunch of time and come back with some amazing stuff. And then after that, your models and everything for coding should just be smooth on the forward. This is part of the reason why I love Droid so much, is because it's so good at understanding these little files in these right places at the right time. And it knows to grab it for that context for that specific thing. So I'll show you real quick. In Convex, there's this giant 800 line rules file that I had to break apart because that's not what you want to give to the agent all the time. So what I ended up doing is kind of making it a little bit smaller. So I ran that command and you can kind of see it has like 400 lines, but it's only when it goes inside of this Convex folder. So when the agent is writing code for my backend, it now knows these specific rules for how to behave inside of Convex. So when the agent is crawling and going to do a specific implementation for a task, it now knows that these are available in its context window, and it will go to those files if it needs to do some type of implementation that touches those specific work trees.